and peace. I bring you greetings from the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers. My name is Sister Michelle Rudolph. This is Sister Olarami Oliver, and this is Sister Judy Bateman. We thank the African American Cultural Gardens for inviting us to remember and celebrate the freedom of our ancestors here in North America. It is because of our ancestors' suffering and sacrifice that we stand here. Our children stand here. Our grandchildren stand here. Our great-grandchildren stand here today. May we always honor their legacy. Yeah. Our presentation today is intended to inform and educate. What is Juneteenth? Why it came into existence? We have incorporated the voices of those who were there, the newly freed black people from the slave narratives. Thank you. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation September 22nd, 1862, notifying those states who were in rebellion against the Union, if they did not cease their rebellion, that by January 1st, 1863, that he would declare their slaves forever free. The proclamation was ignored by those states had seceded from the Union. Furthermore, it did not even apply to those slave-holding states that did not rebel against the Union. As a result, 800,000 enslaved black people did not receive the provisions provided by the proclamation. It took a civil war to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution to formally make slavery illegal in these United States. Blacks were present during the official end of slavery and the Civil War, when the South surrendered to the North at Appomattox.
General Lee tipped his hat first. Then General Grant tipped his. General Lee get off his horse, and then General Grant get off his. General Lee got a new uniform with gold braid and lots of gold buttons. But General Grant, he got on a blue coat that's so dirty, it looked black. They stood there talking for about 30 minutes. And then they shake hands. And us what was watching, we know that Lee done give up. Yeah. Then General Lee tipped his hat, and General Grant tipped his. And General Lee rode over to the rebel side, and General Grant rode over to our side. And the war was over.
They marched into Galveston, Texas, June 19th, 1865, in their blue uniforms with shiny brass buttons. The Union soldiers, led by Major Gordon Granger, went from plantation to plantation, decreeing, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This includes an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and to work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either here or elsewhere." We are free. Slavery is over. Free. But we had been freed 2 years earlier when President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation January 1st, 1863. The Union soldiers were sent to Texas to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. The enslavers in Texas deliberately held the news of freedom to maintain free labor. Since the Union soldier marched in on June 19th, the free black people came up with the word Juneteenth from the date, June and 19th. Thus, we have Juneteenth.
Okay, all right.
Juneteenth is the oldest African-American holiday and commemorates the date slavery ended in America. It is also called Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, or Independence Day. Juneteenth is a legal holiday in Texas and Oklahoma. To this very day, over 37 states celebrate Juneteenth Day. It symbolizes the end of slavery. Juneteenth has come to symbolize for many African Americans what the 4th of July symbolizes for all Americans, freedom. But history reminds us that blacks were still enslaved when the United States obtained their independence. It took 89 years for African Americans to be free like everybody else. During the Civil War, Texas did not experience any significant invasion by Union forces. Although the Union Army made several attempts to invade Texas, they were stopped by Confederate troops. As a result, slavery in Texas continued to thrive. In fact, because slavery in Texas experienced such a minor interruption in its operation, many slave owners from other slave-holding states brought their slaves to Texas to wait out the war.
We wasn't there in Texas long when the soldiers marched in to tell us we was free. Seemed like it was on a Monday. In fact, it was on a Monday. Yes, it was a Monday. They went out into the fields and told us that they was free. Marched them out of the fields. They come a shouting. I remember one woman, she jumped up on a barrel and she shouted. Then she jumped off and she shouted. She jumped back on again and shouted some more. She kept that up for a long time. On a barrel, off again, shouting.
When my oldest brother heard we was free, he gave a whoop, ran, jumped over a high fence, and told Mammy he was gone. Then he grabbed me, hugged me, and kissed me, and he said, probably won't ever see brother again. And sure enough, I ain't never heard from him, nor found out where he went.
Grandma used to tell this story to everybody that would listen, and I expect I heard it 100 times. Grandma says she was hired out to the Randolphs during the war. One day while she was weeding corn, another slave, Mamie Tolliver, came up to her and whispered, "Sarah, they tell me that Massa Lincoln done set us all slaves free." Grandma said, "Is that so?" And dropped her hoe and run all the way to the Thacker's place, 7 miles it was, and run to old Missus and looked at her real hard. Then she yelled, "I'm free. Yes, I'm free. Ain't gotta work for you no more.
All right.
You can't put me in your pocket now." Grandma say Mrs. Thacker started boo-hooing, threw her apron up over her face and run in the house. Grandma knew then it was true.
The news came on a Thursday, and all the slaves had been shouting and carrying on till everybody was all tired out. I remember the first Sunday of freedom. We was all sitting around, resting, and trying to think about what freedom meant. Everybody was quiet and peaceful. All at once, Sister Carrie, who was near about 100, started in on talking.
"Tain't no more selling today. Tain't no more hitting today. Tain't no more pulling on shirts today. Stomp it down.
And when she say stomp it down, all the slaves commenced to stomping with her.
Stomp down freedom today. Stomp it down. Stomp down freedom today. Stomp it down.
All right.
Wasn't no more peace that Sunday. Everybody started in to sing and shout once more. First thing you know, they done made up music to Sister Carrie's Stomp song and shouted that song all the rest of the day. Child, that was one glorious time. Stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. Stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. Stomp down freedom, stomp down freedom, stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. Stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. Stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. Stomp down freedom, stomp down freedom, stomp down freedom today, stomp it down. We are the Cleveland Association of Black Storytellers, and we wish you peace, love, and respect for everyone. Peace, love, respect for everyone. Thank you very much.
I say.